percent increase and decrease. We're going to use some formulas to help us with these percent increase and decrease problem. Let's take a look. First, over here in my workspace, I've recorded the two formulas. A equals P groups of 1 plus R, and A equals P groups of 1 minus R. This is for growth, increase, and this is for decay, decrease. When you're going up, you'll use the formula with the plus. When you're going down, you'll use the formula with the minus. Let's talk a little bit about what these letters mean. The A is what you're solving for. It's what you're trying to find out. It's the number that you'll have after the problem is done. The P is what we call the principal. If you know some Spanish, you might recognize the word principio, which means the start. The P is the number that we start with. Then we'll have a 1, and then we'll either add or subtract R, which is the rate. In our problems here, those will be percents. Remember that we'll need to rewrite percents in decimal form. Let's take a look at how these will be used. What is the result when the number 54 is decreased by 1%? Since I'm decreasing, going down, I'm going to use this second formula here. And I'm going to have my calculator do most of the work for me. So, I'm solving for A. I want to know what number I'll have after I do all of this decreasing. So I'm going to type in my P, my principal, my starting amount. I started with 54. And I type parentheses, 1 minus, and then my R is my rate. That's that 1%. We remember that we need to not write it as just 1, but as 0.01. We can close the parentheses and then see what we get. 53.46. Let's try it. Super. Let's try some more. What is the result when the number 73 is increased by 24%? We can do that. This time we'll use the increasing version of the formula, the growth version. The procedure is basically the same though. I'm solving for A, and that's going to equal the P, the principal, the starting amount. I'm starting with 73. Then parentheses, then 1, then plus. My R is the rate, the percent. 24% I can write as 0.24. Close parentheses, and I see 90.52. That's it. Fantastic. Let's do one more of this type just to be sure. What is the result when the number 41 is increased by 2.3%? This is an increase problem, so I'll use my top formula. I'm trying to find A, and that will equal the principal. I started with 41, parentheses, 1 plus the rate. It was 2.3%. How do I write that in pure decimal form? Hold on. If it was originally 2.3%, to rewrite it in pure decimal form, I need to move this decimal 2 spaces to the left. So from here, between the 2 and the 3, 1 space to the left, a second space to the left. I need to fill in a 0 here. Okay, now I'm good. My rate is actually 0.023. We don't want to leave off that 0 or we'll get things very wrong. So let's plug that in. So 1 plus 0.023. Okay, that says it should be 41.943. Fantastic. Let's take a look at the other type of problem that we'll see in today's assignment. Okay, percent increase and decrease word problems. So we're going to read carefully, choose which formula we're going to use, and plug in the correct numbers. We can do it. Let's start by reading. You are at a restaurant and the check comes to a total of $76. If you want to leave a 19% tip, how much total money should you pay to the nearest cent? Okay, so if I'm leaving a tip, I'm going to pay more than the bill of $76. And you should always leave a tip. Always. So, since I'm going to be leaving more money than 76, I'll use this first formula with the plus. I need to figure out what these letters represent. I'm trying to figure out how much money I'm going to pay after I make my calculations. So I need to have my P and my R. The P, the principal, how much I started off with. I started off with a bill of $76. So let me type that first, 76. Then we're going to figure out the 1 plus R. So parentheses, 1 plus R, the rate. That's the percent, 19%, which I can just write as 0.19. Close that up, and I get 90.44. Wait, do I need to round that at all? To the nearest cent. I could pay 90.44. That works, $90.44. I don't need to do any rounding because I only have two numbers after the decimal point. I'm good. Fantastic. Let's take a look at another word problem. If you want to buy an item in a store that costs $50 and is on sale for 10% off, then how much would the item actually cost you after the discount? Round to the nearest cent. Okay, this is a discount problem. We're spending less money than the original bill. That's great. Let's figure out what numbers go where. The principal. What was the starting cost? It started at $50. I'll type that first. Then 1 minus the rate. It's a 10% off sale, so I'll do 0.10. Close that up. And my final answer is 45. 45. Do I need to round to the nearest cent? Nope. I could write my answer so it looks a little bit more like money, 45.00. It still counts as correct. We could have also just written 45. All right, let's do one more word problem just to feel good. Ooh, I don't feel good about this story. In a certain town, there were 458 robberies last year. This year, the number of robberies has gone down 14%. Well, at least that's good. How many robberies were there this year to the nearest whole number? Okay, so I'm going to notice this key phrase of gone down. We're decreasing, so I should use this formula with the minus. Once again, I need to think about the starting amount. So I started with 458 robberies last year. Now the rest of my formula, 1 minus the rate. It went down by 14%, so I'll write that as 0.14. And now we've got this answer of 393.88. 393.88. Hold on. We need to round to the nearest whole number. Doesn't make sense for there to be 0.88 of a robbery. I'm going to just round this to the nearest whole number. I cut off everything after the decimal place. Ooh, that 8 is big enough to change things. So when I cut it off, I need to bump up my 3 to a 4. All right, so it looks like there were that decreased number of 394 robberies. So Try your best with these word problems. Read carefully. Highlight if you need to. Make sure that you figure out whether you're talking about a situation where the number is increasing or decreasing. P represents the money that you start with, or the robberies that you start with, your principal. And then R is the rate, the percent rate of change. Make sure you rewrite the percent in pure decimal form. Let me know what your questions are, and good luck.